crabgrass, goosegrass, all the summer weed control, including maybe some broadleaf weeds you have left over from the spring. I'm going to go over how you control those safely in your yard. It gets a little dicey during the summer. You got heat stress, you got drought stress. Both even cool and warm season grasses are under stress during the summer. You got to make sure you're putting something out that's not going to harm your yard, and it's going to control whatever you're doing. And timing has a little bit to do with it. I'll get to all of that in this video. I'm also going to show you guys who put out with a backpack sprayer how to do a jar test. How, if you want to put multiple products out at one time, how do you know if they're compatible? Can you mix them together in a backpack sprayer? I'm going to show you a jar test and how to do that. So anyway, going to tell you how to safely apply, how to prepare the yard, how to make all this work, and how to make sure you get the yard that you want going into the summer and survive the summer. So anyway, now, a few do's and don'ts that are general for any post-emergent herbicide application. We are talking summer grassy weeds here mostly. Majority of the summer grassy weed control products, I'm going to be going over the active ingredients as I do in all my videos. I understand at times I do butcher them, but that's why I'm putting them at the bottom. I want you guys to know what the active ingredients are, so that way you can see them and identify them. I actually had a guy, subscriber, put in the comments, he goes, hey, I'm glad you said that, because I was going to go out and buy, it was quinaclorac, I was going to go out and buy quinaclorac, and I didn't realize I had it at my house already. So saved him some money. So anyway, it's good to know these active ingredients so you can identify them and know what they have, and it makes you a much better shopper. And also, if you're mixing products together, that's one of the things you've got to be careful, and I'll give you a little bit of heads up. If you know, if you put out two products, if you're mixing them and they have the same active ingredient, which is kind of rare, but if they have the same active ingredient, you can potentially damage the grass. So that's why when you do this mixing, I'll get into more, I'll just do the jar test, but make sure you're not putting products out with the exact same active ingredient. So if you have two products out, same active ingredient, that could be a problem. So anyway, that's why I want you to know this. Now, considerations when you're putting this out. You do not want to, any type of post-emergent herbicide, do not mow 2 days before, do not mow 2 days after. 2 days before, because you want that leaf of that weed to be completely, totally exposed so it can really absorb the herbicide. If you don't do that, particularly with grassy weeds, you're not going to get the control that you want. You're going to have to put it back out again. It's going to cost you twice as much. Timing is so important during the summer. And about any time you put out herbicide, there's a slight risk of damage. So, and some of these products require a 14-day wait period till you put it out again. Some of them are 28. You got to read the label on these things. You want done in one shot. That's where I want you to get to. So don't mow 2 days before so that leaf blade is available. Don't mow 2 days after so it can really absorb that herbicide and really get into it. So it takes a couple days to get in there. Also, whenever we're talking summer here, anytime you mow your grass, it's stressful to it because it has to recover from being cut, and it's somewhat also dries it out a little quicker because it's exposed. The ends of the turf are exposed. You stress it just a little bit, and a lot of these products, if you read the label, it does scare you a little bit. And I'm trying to steer you in the right direction so you don't end up doing something you shouldn't be doing. You'll see they'll tell you some yellowing may occur, and it can occur. So if you put out the herbicide and then you mow it, you're going to stress it more and you're going to get more yellowing in it. That's not what we want. So don't mow 2 days after, don't mow 2 days before. Heat, temperature. Most of these products require, some of them you'll see as low as 45 degrees. A lot of them will be 75. You want to put it between 75 and 80 degrees. That's your high temperature. They need to be that warm in order for it to be effective so the grass is actively growing. Once when you get above 85 degrees, particularly on cool season grasses, it is going into a little bit of a heat stress situation, and if you put out the herbicide, then it's a possibility that you may damage your grass. So you want it to be below 85. Timing is everything. I have one product that I'm actually putting out today on warm season grasses called Celsius. You can actually put it out above 90 degrees. I actually called Bayer to confirm this. You can put it out above 90 degrees for those of you in the Southwest. Just be careful you don't have a whole lot of drought stress in your yard. And on the Celsius, in case, I don't know if I mentioned it, on Celsius you need to put out a non-ionic surfactant with it. But what they said was when you get above 85 degrees, you do not need the non-ionic surfactant. They're not recommending that when it's above 90 degrees. For those of you in the Southwest going out with Celsius, I'll go more into that later on. I just wanted to throw that in there because I don't think I mentioned it when I was putting it out. Anyway, on these products, majority of them, particularly quinaclorac product, get to more of that in a minute, they generally really don't do a very good job on grassy weeds after the 4th of July and before August 15th. So if you're watching this video, it's late July, just chill out for a couple weeks. Wait until after August 15th, then you can put a quinaclorac product out. A lot of these other grassy weed, I don't know about the mesotrone product. I think it does a decent job, but generally almost all grassy weed products, it needs to be older or younger. That middle-aged crabgrass, probably not going to touch it. You're just going to have to chill out, wait for it. And yes, it's worthwhile to treat later on in the year, because what'll happen is, particularly cool season grass folks, if you whack it second week in August, your grass will more recover, and it will also die and give you a media that you could actually, it's not competing if you would do any type of fall seeding, particularly if you had a rough summer. So go ahead, it is worthwhile to do that August application of these products, get rid of this stuff, so that way you can kind of start fresh, overseeding in the fall, particularly cool season grass folks. So early, late on these products. July, you're just probably going to have to live with it. The sulfentrazone product, probably going to be, might be a little bit effective, but not so much. Best thing in July is just to chill out and wait till after August 15th. Okay, products. Hose end adapters. Those of you, and this, I gotta be honest with you, with the exception of, Centipede and St. Augustine. You say Centipede and St. Augustine, guys, you're going to have to be careful of what you do here. And I'll give you a couple products that you can use. And one of them is a granular and the other one's a sprayable that you can use. There's not a whole lot of hose end adapters for you Centipede and St. Augustine grass guys. I think there's an atrazine product out that may be out there, but that's about all you got. There's not a whole lot out there. Now, the hose end adapter, this one, it is a spectricide weed stop with crabgrass control. You can use this on any grass with the exception of St. Augustine, and read the label on these. But I read the label, but do read the label on these. Double check me. But it's, you know, you can't use it on St. Augustine or Centipede. You can use it on everything else. They also say with Bermuda grass, don't use above 90 degrees. And that's probably for you all in the Southwest, because I don't know when you're below 90 degrees. The Celsius product I'll talk about in a minute, you guys can use that above 90 degrees. Now, the active ingredients in the spectricide weed stop has quinaclorac in it, okay? It controls both broadleaf and grassy weeds, okay? It does a pretty good job. Crabgrass, goosegrass, and it also controls clover very well. So just give you an idea what's in there. 2,4-D, which is a fairly broad spectrum broadleaf weed control. It's okay. It's sort of an old product that's cheap. They throw it in there. Cheap does not mean bad. It's just a fairly inexpensive broadleaf weed control. Dicamba, which has a little bit more diversity as far as its grassy weed control, or probably not grassy weed control, but broadleaf weed control. And sulfentrazone. The thing about sulfentrazone is it controls nutsedge. And that's why I like this product, because it's a very well-rounded, very easy to apply product. It is pretty inexpensive. And for both of you who have backpack sprayers or granular or whatever you want to do, it's probably good for just about everybody. I think it goes out, I think it's per container, goes out at 2,500 to 5,000 square feet. Check the label on that. And the only reason why I mention that is that's probably how much, I'm trying to give you a vibe for how much you're going to need. But that is a very well-rounded, that's why with the hose end adapter, this is a pretty well-rounded product. If you're just looking for something to put out, other than St. Augustine and Centipede, this is a really good option for you. So anyway, now, as far as for those of you with the exception of Bermuda, okay, there's a product called Tenacity. You can put it out. The mesotrone is the active ingredient in it. You can put it out on a lot of different grasses with the exception of Bermuda. It actually will control and suppress Bermuda. I did actually a video on this of trying to help folks who have maybe St. Augustine yard that really want to get rid of their Bermuda. It's not a bad option. It controls grassy weeds fairly well. You can, cool season grass folks, you can seed into it. The Tenacity product comes in a very convenient container. This, quite honestly, is a Celiprin, but anyway, it's the same container that it comes in. You do not need much of this. Tenacity goes out at 0.11 ounces per 1,000 square feet, up to, check the label depending on the grass you're putting it on, 0.18 ounces per 1,000 square feet. In other words, one of these is going to last you for quite a while. And that's one of the bad things, if you will, about some of these, I don't know, professional products, professional size products. This is, and it comes in the same, it's 4 ounces, so you've got enough here to treat several times. Now, it'll last you about 2 or 3 years, and you can put this out. It has a little bit of post and pre-emergent activity in it. There again, on the active ingredient is mesotrone. There is actually, and I'll leave it in the comments, and I think it's called Terosity, I think. That's actually a generic. There are some generic mesotrone products that are a little cheaper that you could put out, and I think they do okay. The difference between name brand and the generic, the inactive ingredients, what they do in herbicide, and I might say this again later on. If I do, I apologize. But the inactive ingredients, you'll see this on here. It says other ingredients on this one. Those are things that, those are the trade secrets, and they allow the product, the active ingredient, to actually work better in the application. So, pardon me. And the name brand stuff generally works a little better because they have those trade secrets and those good active ingredients that actually get the plant. But anyway, Tenacity is a good one. This one is great for those of you who put out backpack sprayer, or who have backpack sprayers. This is a really good product. I don't think it's available on Amazon anymore. They are out. I recommended it earlier in the year. I don't know if I had anything to do with it, but you can't find it on Amazon right now. I'm going to leave a link to this from Do My Own may have this, and I'm going to leave the link down below. You can use this on anything but Bermuda grass. You can use this on St. Augustine. You can use this on centipede. I'm almost positive you can use it on centipede. But anyway, it goes out at, while I'm looking this up, I just want to make sure. You can use it on zoysia, you can use it on perennial rye, bahia grass, St. Augustine, and centipede. I was right, yay. So anyway, but yeah, this is a really good product. It has active ingredients, has a mesotrone, okay? It has dicamba and triclopyr in it. This is a very good product. What I did with this, I did an experiment, I'll show you at the end of the year. I took a yard, cool season grass yard, that had never been maintained, and I only put this on it. That's it. No fertilizer, no nothing. And it actually controlled everything in it very well. I'm not seeing any grassy weeds so far. All the broadleaf weeds are gone. So it did a really good job. I'll leave a link to this. But this, and it also controls Bermuda grass. Okay, so if you have a St. Augustine yard or a centipede yard and you want to get rid of Bermuda grass, it'll turn it ghost white too. It's kind of cool. But this is not a bad option for just about everybody who wants to put it out with a backpack sprayer. Now, for those of you who do, the hose and adapter, everybody's got a hose, right? But for you all who want to put, if you want, I'm just throwing a granular out there. The only problem with this product is, and it's a Scott's triple action for seed. It's a great product. The only problem with it is it also has fertilizer in it. It's essentially a starter fertilizer. It's essentially for seeding, as they say. This is a good product for you guys who want to do overseeding either in the spring or the fall, cool season grass folks. Or actually, well, don't want to do any seeding for Bermuda grass except in the spring. But, and for those of you who seed Bermuda, and actually my yard seeded Bermuda, by the way. But this is the only thing that I can find. I want to throw a granular out there that had a herbicide in it, has a mesotrone product in it. And this will clean you up pretty good and also have a little bit of post and pre activity in it, pre-emergent. So I just throw one out there just for you. Now, went over the Spectracide Weed Stop, the Tenacity, the Scott's for Seed, and the Sublime product, and all their active ingredients. This is the one I'm going to be applying today. It's called Celsius. Okay, this is actually only, and it goes out with the backpack sprayer. Show you how to mix that here in a minute. And for those of you that are going to be using Sublime, those of you who have been using the Tenacity product, essentially, you just mix it the same way I'm going to mix this Celsius. And I'm just putting things out in the backpack church so you know how to properly do it, you know how to safely do it, and everything else. The Celsius product, okay, here's some fun active ingredients, but I'm going to try it. Here we go. Is the thiocarboxymethyl, okay? And it also has idiosulfuron methyl, or idiosulfuron methyl. There we go. I'm pretty sure I got that one right. And dicamba. And the only reason why I say, those, so makes you a good shopper. Now, there's a product that I'm pretty sure I do in a jar test called a halosulfuron methyl. It is the sedge hammer. That's the last video I did. And I'm showing you if you wanted to mix these two as an example, because I had both of them. And if you wanted to mix those two, there's actually a product called Celsius Extra that has Celsius in it and the sedge hammer all mixed together. So I kind of knew they were compatible. But anyway, that sedge hammer product is excellent for everybody if you have purple or yellow nutsedge. It's good stuff. But the Celsius is pretty much controls about everything in warm season grasses. This is going out on my Bermuda. This is what I'm mixing today. It goes out, doesn't matter much. Higher rate on this is 0.113 ounces per thousand. Not a whole lot. So anyway, it's really good stuff. You can get it in these convenient packets, and that's what I'm putting them down below. The Celsius Extra, and this is one of the problems that you run into with some of these commercial grade products, whatever you want to call them. This is very convenient because I need 3 packs of this. Will do my yard. The Celsius, regular Celsius, I think comes out at I think it's 10 ounces in the jar. Okay. That's enough to last you a lot. And you're going to be putting a lot of money into it. It's going to be stored in the garage. It's a good solid, but do you really want something around for 2-3 years? These packets are very convenient. I get them on Amazon. I'll leave the link below. There again, it only goes out at 0.11 ounces per 1,000 square feet. The Tenacity product, that'll last you a long time. That's kind of why I'm recommending the Spectricide weed stop for a lot of the cool season grass folks, is because you can put that out. And you don't have something hanging around your garage for gosh knows how long. So anyway, now I am going to go over how to do, and this is one of the questions that I get, how do I put multiple products, or know if I can put multiple products in a backpack sprayer? I'm going to do a jar test to show you how to confirm if those products are, that you can put them in the same backpack sprayer and put them out at the same time. Then I'm going to show you how to properly mix a backpack sprayer. Then I'm going to show you how to put this stuff out particularly with Bermuda grass, and I'm putting out the Celsius product. If I get it on my neighbor's yard who has cool season grasses, they're not going to be very happy with me because I'm going to smoke them. So anyway, so I'm going to show you kind of how to angle that. And you also got to need to be aware, they may have put out the same product the day before. So just try to be a good neighbor and make sure you do the borders correctly. And I'm going to show you how to do that. And then we're going to finish up and the big finish. This is my water. This is my jar. So I'm going to do what you should do. I'm probably not using the 2 greatest products. I just dropped mine. Let me get my cap. Probably not using the 2 greatest products because ideally what you want to do is you want to mix these in the same concentration as what is in, or what they recommend, which is kind of hard to calculate on this scale. So I'm going to put, now Celsius goes out at 0.133. That's its max rate. 133 ounces per 1,000 square feet, which that ain't much. I actually had a blog, believe it or not, where a guy had misread the label and put 1.13 ounces of Celsius out per 1,000 square feet. Fortunately for him, that's probably going to be enough. I've got about 4 or 5 little grands in there, and that's probably about all we're going to need. Fortunately for him, it did brown his Bermuda grass up a bit. However, didn't kill it. I'm not advocating that, but that gives you an idea how safe Celsius is. And I'll go over that a little bit more later. Okay, a little bit of sledgehammer. There again, there's not much of this. This goes out, this one packet. This is the Sledgehammer Plus product. If you do mix these, whoops, caught that. If you do mix these, keep in mind, this already has a non-ionic surfactant in it, in the Sledgehammer Plus. There is a new formulation of Sledgehammer Plus, and you do not need the non-ionic surfactant with it. It's already in there. That being said, Celsius on the label asks for a non-ionic surfactant. So if you do mix these two, something else to look at, see if it already has a non-ionic surfactant in it. Let me move this out of my face way so you can hear me. Anyway, but that's something else to consider. That's why you need to read the label. So I don't need a non-ionic surfactant with my Celsius when I mix it with Sledgehammer. Now, the other thing about Celsius, and I'm actually putting both of these out today, but I'm going to put them separately. And the reason being is I'm doing some cool season grasses, and I want to be able to put out the Sledgehammer by itself because I got some nutsedge over there I want to take care of. So anyway, so I'm going to be spot treating with the Sledgehammer. Now, we're all mixed up. What am I going to do now? Obviously, I'm going to agitate a little bit. And, I mean, just give it a shake. Make sure it's fairly well mixed, agitated. I've been told, feel it initially for if it gets warmer or colder. That's generally an endothermic or exothermic reaction. That would be a pretty extreme reaction. Generally, that's an acid-base type thing, particularly an exothermic reaction when it gets hotter. But normally, you don't have that on putting any type of pesticides together in the spray tank. What you need to do is now you need to wait, and you need to see if any particulates form in here. You're looking for an oily residue or it gumming, okay? Meaning it's starting to gel, okay? If you don't see that, they are compatible. It's more a function of not the active ingredients reacting ill of one another. It's the inert ingredients. Said this in other videos that can react with one another because those inert ingredients are help the product perform, the active ingredient perform better. Those are, there again, the trade secrets. So anyway, I'm going to give this about 15 minutes, come back and take a look. And if it looks good, I should be good to go. Okay, I still look good. It's clear. It's good. There's no gum. There's no residue at the bottom. I don't see any reaction here at all. So I am fine with putting out Celsius and Sledgehammer together. Okay, I always kind of show you how to mix up my spray tank in case any of you are going out. I am going out at 0.113 ounces per 1,000 square feet of Celsius. That's 0.113. And the reason why I stress that is there's actually a blog where a guy, I guess, didn't quite read the label quite right. He put out 1.13 ounces per 1,000 square feet, not believing that it was 0.113 ounces. So I'm only going to treat 6,000 square feet, so I only need 0.67 ounces total of this, and this is 0.22 ounces per each packet. So I'm going to need 3 packets. And yes, I'm going to treat 6,000 square feet. You can put this as low as far as spray volume of a half gallon per 1,000. I'm actually going a little bit more than that, but a little bit less. And usually, if you've seen my other videos, I usually tell folks to try to keep it a gallon per 1,000. I'm going to stretch it a little bit today just for convenience, and I think you'll be okay as long as you go above, a little bit above the total amount or the minimum amount. I generally don't go the minimum amount, and this is, I'm pretty sure on Celsius, check the label, but you need at least a half a gallon of spray per 1,000 square feet. I'm 6,000 square feet. I have 4 gallons spray volume, so it should be fine. So anyway, I always fill it up halfway, and then that's when I put my herbicides in, or anything else for that matter. Now, there has been actually one of my subscribers said, hey, why don't you take a paint sprayer or something like that and agitate this up? The reason why I don't do that is some of that's actually not a bad move, and I'm not opposed to that. I'm going to give that a little bit of agitation that way. The reason why I don't do that is because that's one more thing for me to clean up, and that's just practice for me. You can go ahead and get one of those small paint stirrers and put it down in here and agitate this up, but I've found just a couple little squirts, not to put too much foam in it, I'm going to leave a link to a defoamer if you guys want one. What happens is the herbicides in particular, they get a head on them and it makes it difficult to fill. And if you put the defoamer in, it actually takes the foam out of it. This one doesn't foam that much. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to fill this up. I'm going to give it a shake. And what I found, that's generally all I need to do. I just don't like having a whole lot of things that I need to clean up when I'm doing herbicide or any type of pesticide applications. Now, as I had said in the past, you don't want to put your hose down in here because you can have a municipal water leak, which can cause a siphon and the pesticide siphon back up in your garden hose. It's just there again, kind of my persnickety practice. On golf courses, we always kept this above the hose, fill hose above, which is basically what I'm doing here. And then we had a backflow preventer. So we really were careful about, that backflow into, and it was, I'm pretty sure it's required by law in every state I've ever been in. Mixing loading areas. This is where, if you're going to have spills, this is where you're going to have your problem. So you need to be aware. I'm doing this on a table. I'll clean off this table. I'm just getting water on it, but it's just good housekeeping. It'll actually prevent, I'm mixing Celsius on top of cool season grass. So if I spill any of this, I'm going to smoke the dickens out of it. So I need to be careful. This is where I like to do my mixing. So at least for you guys. So I do need to be careful of that. I need to be careful of the outside of the backpack. Don't get anything on it. We're filling up nice and slow here so we don't get too much of a head on it. And then we're going to go spray. So anyway, on my first pass, let me get down here. I am going to angle because I've got cool season grasses over here. My yard is over here. I'm going to angle this and probably go ahead and leave a border on here so I'm not going to whack my neighbor's yard. So just be cognizant of that. If you're way down south, you don't have to worry about it. If they got St. Augustine or something like that, you're good to go, or Bermuda or any other warm season grass. So I'm going to angle this, do the border, and then I'm going to come back like I normally do.
Okay, just as you go, be aware that you're only doing essentially half, not a full swipe. So you need to maybe speed up your walking just a bit to make sure you're getting the correct amount out, and you're also angling your nozzle a little bit. So be cognizant of a good uniform application since you are angling your nozzle slightly. And then when you come back through, just go ahead. It's the same swipe that you always do, what you calibrate your sprayer for, and I do have a calibration video. Please check that out. It's on the channel, and you just want to make sure that you're getting this out good and uniform on your lawn. Kind of give an idea of some early damage. This is about 5 days after you're seeing some curling of the leaf of this plantain, a little bit of chlorosis, which is a yellowing of the weed, and here's some violet. I hate this stuff. It is very hard to control. A little bit of yellowing, little bit of purple. In the leaf itself, so it's on its way out. Here's some crabgrass getting some purpling going on, a little bit of chlorosis. It's kind of hard to see, but you can see a good bit of yellowing in this crabgrass. You have a dark green area and then a yellow area. That's a classic chlorosis. You see it. Roundup also does that too. Here's dandelion. You see a little bit of purpling, some curling of the leaves. It just gives you an indication early that it's working. If you subscribe and hit the bell, you will get notifications when I put videos up. That might sound annoying. However, it is June 20th, and you got about 2 or 3 weeks if you want to put out a post-emergent herbicide for grassy weed control to put this out, as I said in this video. You will get notifications when you need to be doing things. I did a fungicide video about a month and a half ago. About 2 weeks after that, I started seeing all kinds of pictures on social media about what is this, and if it's a fungus, they would have got a heads up and been able to put their fungicide out and wouldn't have had a problem and or dead grass. So I keep things very topical. I'm going to be doing here in about a week or two a video on grub control, which I already have one. In fact, I'll leave that one at the end, here at the end. And I'm going to leave probably my backpack calibration video here on this one too. So that way you have both of them. About me, I'm a 94 graduate of North Carolina State University. I have a degree in agronomy from NC State. I've been in golf course maintenance construction for over 30 years. So I've been around a little bit. And I try to keep I'm trying to educate folks they make the best decisions, they make the most out of their money and most out of their time, and help them get the goals achieved with their yard. So anyway, I'm agronomist Greg Phillips. If you like, it brings us up higher in YouTube has a tendency to suggest the video more. So if this has been helpful, please like. And I'll see you next time.